All right, welcome to our last and final unit. It's called Populations and Resources. And I was sent in a letter from Dr. Tiana, who is the head of the Glacier Research Center. So she needs our help with a problem. I've kind of centered our unit around that and broken it up into chapters. Excuse me. She said, "Congratulations on your new position at the Glacier Sea Research Center. Our team of ecologists studies changes to populations of the Glacier Sea. We often observe a small increases and decreases in the size of populations. However, over the past few years, we've been observing a much larger change. The moon jelly population has mysteriously increased in size by a huge amount. We would love your help in investigating what is causing the moon jelly population in the Glacier Sea to increase." So, hopefully, before I get to vocab, just want to quickly break this down into several chapter sections. So, kind of the first thing I want us to investigate is what caused the size of the moon jelly population in the Glacier Sea to increase. Today, you're going to use a sim to explore different parts of an ecosystem, which you should have added into your science notebook already. Ecosystem is all of the living and non-living parts interacting in a particular area. So that picture there, you have a sea anemone, which actually is a living thing, as well as a clownfish, which are living things, interacting with the coral reef, which grows on rocks, and sand that is non-living. All of those things, the salt water that's non-living, that all affects those living organisms. The other word that you should have learned is population. It's a group of the same type of organism living in the same area. So you have a picture of several stingrays there. Those are all cow's nose stingrays. That is a population of a type of fish species. Then there's another, actually, in that picture, you can also see a small school of fish towards the bottom there. That is another population. So you have two populations kind of in that picture there. All right. If you weren't sure how to set up your science notebook, make sure you start a new table of contents that's pictured over here on the left. And then I showed you my page one just to give you some context in case you forgot at this point. Hopefully you didn't. But you should have 4 things for each definition page. For each term that we learn, like ecosystem, have the definition, have a drawing that helps you remember that. You can see my really awesome drawing of a rocky shelf being a non-living area, and then a non-living thing in that picture. You have the shark, the fish that it's eating. The boat is non-living, so you have both living and non-living things. That's why I drew that. Anyway, the other 2 things you need on those definition pages is the examples and non-examples. So you might pause here and update yours, but I'm not going to give you this every single time. So make sure you're coming up with your own for population. You will also be adding to page 3 in your science notebook today. That will be a key concept that we'll go over a little bit later. All right. What I want you to do is explore the sim that we're going to be using a lot this unit. And I will copy and paste these instructions into your Google form, but you're going to launch the sim by opening it. I'm just going to show you and walk you through these. Oops. Copy and paste that into a new web browser. All right. That should load the sim for you. You will probably log in with Clever. I have to log in with Google. So it looks a little different on my end than yours. And essentially, you're going to click on different organisms in the sim. An organism, by the way, I keep putting in parentheses, is a living thing. That is an ecologist term for a living thing. You can go to the 3, it doesn't really matter which population you choose. I would choose the 3 population one. And there's 3 different populations in here. There's a greenleaf, a wee bug, and a furbill. These are fake names, obviously, but click on that. And something that will definitely help you, it helped me, is to zoom in here using that little magnifying glass. And then you're going to click on just maybe tracking this one organism. And if you open this thing to the side, it can kind of show you what's going on, as well as this is kind of showing you a food web layout. All right, so you're going to be tracking these organisms over time. If they disappear, that means they died. And just kind of coming out with some basic observations over here back in your Google form for questions 3, 4, and then 5 tells you to reset it and do it again for another organism. So try and track, if you track the furbo like I did first, that little blue thing, try tracking maybe a green leaf next. All right. So it's pretty simple, but again, just to familiarize yourself with that sim and go back to those questions in your Google form and finish answering them. You got this.